Monday, July 27th, 2020, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So, sitting on Billy's sofa again today. Billy is here. There he is. He's lying down. Maybe the downside is that you can't see him as well, but it's quite comfortable and it's something different. So yeah, big news today in the precious metals, especially the monetary metals that we follow. Gold has made a new all-time high in US dollars. We were all waiting for that confirmation of the precious metals bull market for all fiat currencies, because it's only the dollar that hadn't made an all-time high up until now. So I think this confirms the 21st century bull market, the long-term bull market that I've talked about that started, some people think it was 99, but others look at 2001 when there's like a double bottom. Whatever year you want to call it, it is a 21st century bull market. So technical analysis still does matter. I think it's highly significant that we've broken through this level. Not just for traders and for technicals, but to confirm, of course, the fundamentals behind the bull market. And what are the major fundamentals, in my opinion? Well, it's the fact that central banks and governments have been inflating the system, for the last 2 decades. Even though they started earlier, it's been really ramping up since around the time of Greenspan, the dot-com bubble burst, since Bernanke, and now it's gone on steroids, of course, ever since this crisis started this year. Of course, it's always tough to hold on to your convictions about things in general. There's always those out there who try to counter you, and that's not a bad thing. Things are never certain in life. So let's have a look at what's going on overnight. I'm quite early this morning, so it's just before 7 a.m. London. So I've got the prices here of gold, silver, and everything else. Gold has traded up to a high of 1945 in US dollars. Of course, the high in 2011 had been 1920. And of course, last week we had the highest ever closing price of gold at 1901. But until you break the previous high, nothing is confirmed. And that's how technicals work. I think this will be a massive signal for precious metals, for gold and silver. Silver is doing very well as well. For example, gold right now is up 1.7%, while silver is up 6.4%. Silver is at 24.20, up almost $1.50. The other thing we need to keep in mind is that it's going to get very volatile. You're going to see some big moves down and up. You just need to hold on. That's why they call it a bull market. You have to keep hold of the bull. So what's the range been? Well, gold actually opened late yesterday, London time, of course, 11 p.m. We traded below 1900. The low was just below there at 1899.45. As I said, the high's been 1945. Right now we are at 1935, so up $33. Silver is at 24.20, as I said. But more importantly, though, gold is also making a new all-time high in the euro. We're at 16.54. It's making a new all-time high in pounds. We're at 15.09. And we're making a new all-time high in the Japanese yen at 204,500. Yeah, the dollar is continuing to drop. We're just at around 94 in the dollar index. But as I've said before, gold will outperform all fiat currencies, even when the dollar is weak. The stock market, the Dow futures up 64 points. 0.27%. So precious metals are outperforming stocks. The S&P is up 9 points, and the Nasdaq 100 future is up 45 or 0.5%. The currencies, the fiat currencies, of course, the pound is up 0.25% against the dollar, 128.25. Yes, but the pound is also down against gold. We're breaking through 1500, which had never traded before in pounds. Euro is up to 117, up almost 0.5% against the dollar. The dollar is down 0.5% against the yen at 105.64, and the dollar is down 0.2 versus the yuan, right at 7 versus the yuan. Crude oil not doing very well. It's just down slightly, down 0.1% at 41.24. The other thing I wanted to point out is that the bond market is still fairly firm. We're seeing the 10-year yield here still below 60.6. It's at 0.58. So that means that real yields, if you look at the CPI or whatever you think the rate of growth of prices is, which is not 0.6, I would say, year on year, we have a negative real yield for treasuries all the way up to 10-year, I would say. The 20-year is quoted at 102 and the 30-year at 123. I would say even those, it's a negative real yield. You're not getting a real yield if you compensate for the rising cost of living. So I think that's one of the reasons why gold and silver are doing well as well. I saw that the Republicans in Congress have, or in the Senate and the administration, they've agreed on some kind of package. But the problem right now for the U.S. economy is that a lot of the jobless benefit that people are getting, the extra $600, they expired yesterday. Legally, they only expire on the 31st, but the way the states pay off that means yesterday was the last day. I think there's going to be a delay here. It says on the Wall Street Journal that the GOP, after the delay, tees up virus bill, but they still have to negotiate, of course, with the Democrats. I read that the Democrats in May passed a bill of around another $3.5 trillion. Of course, that hasn't gone through yet. I think the Republicans are looking at $1 trillion. So it could be anywhere in the middle. There's talk that they might pass some of the packages soon, like to extend the jobless benefit, and that they might negotiate further down the line for the other parts of the bill. But it looks like the Democrats are not happy with that they want to get everything done right away. So that could be a problem in the real world for real people if they're not getting extra cash that they need, if they're unemployed, if they haven't been able to work because of this crisis, if the companies they work for are shut down or have gone out of business. That's a big problem. So yeah, what about those of you who have done the right thing, who have been investing in precious metals, gold and silver? When will it be time to sell? I get that question a lot. Well, I look at precious metals, as I've said many times, as savings. So you only really convert to fiat or your national currency if you have an emergency, or if you want to invest in yourself or in a family member, in a business, your own business, and you need the capital. You don't need to borrow the money if you've done your work, if you've been cautious, and if you've saved in real money. I think that's the beauty of precious metals. is that it helps you maintain also the purchasing power of your efforts that you've put throughout your life. Because if you had left a lot of your savings, let's say 15 years ago, in your national currencies, how much less would that be buying you now? A lot less. What about precious metals? No, that is doing well. So in the long term, yeah, it's savings for the traders out there who are trading the miners and who are also trading maybe gold futures or ETFs, which I don't recommend, but I'm not here to preach either. But it's not something I do, trade gold ETFs or futures right now. I used to do it years ago. I would say that we still have, in the short term, a bit more to run in the precious metals and gold and silver. Usually, this time of the year, the seasonality is quite good for gold and silver. So, I'm not trying to put a time frame here, but I would say if you're a trader, you need to think of August and September as probably a time when the precious metals might top in the short term. Does that mean I'm also telling stackers to get out of gold and silver come October? No, of course not. Of course not. This is a longer term, how can I say, game, in my opinion. That's what it is. But I do have some miners, GDX and GDXJ, and I'll have to think about liquidating some of that position come August or September, depending where it is. Take some profit, maybe buy some more physical with it, with the profits. That could be an idea. It's been a long, a long road, precious metals. It is frustrating market a lot of times, but you need to be patient. I think that's the most important thing. And right now, what do you do right now? If you haven't bought precious metals, gold and silver, and you want to get in, a lot of people always ask me, isn't it too high? Well, I've been told that for the last 18 years since I started buying gold around $300. That's where it was when I started. People have always been saying, oh, it's too expensive. Well, I wish I hadn't listened to a lot of people that told me that 18, 15 years ago. So am I saying you should go out there and rush and buy gold and silver as much as you can right now? Not really. No, you just have to make it a habit, like do a dollar cost averaging anytime you have a bit of extra fiat currency. That's what I would say. And I think that's what Billy would also recommend. Billy's pretty happy with his silver position, of course. So, yeah, there you go. This is a very significant day, technically. Breaking that 1920 level is huge. That means we've got a new leg in the bull market that started in the early 2000s. It's a long-term bull market, as I said. When will it end? Well, it will end when the market tops. But fundamentally, it will end when, yeah, the powers that be come to their senses. By the powers that be, of course, I mean governments, central banks, the banking system. Yeah, when they come to their senses and they realize that the system that we've had since Richard Nixon closed the gold window in 1971 has run its course. We can't keep inflating as we're doing without any consequences. So price targets, very difficult to say, but yeah, it's going to be another few years until we top, I think, in gold and silver. Some people look at the Dow gold ratio, and I think that's a good indicator of when things have rebalanced. And I've said that many times in the past as well, that when we get to 1-to-1 in that ratio, that's when the system will be rebalanced or reset, if you want to call it that. And I don't know at what price that will be, if it will be at 4,000 gold and 4,000 Dow, or 10,000 to 10,000, or it could be 20,000 to 20,000. But as long as it is at 1-to-1 or near there, I think that's a good signal. So there you go. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and all these other platforms below here. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.